Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Now, make sure you guys subscribe in order to get these weekly videos and so on. And if you do want to book a reading with me, soulworkwithjenij.com. I have a new website, as I've mentioned before. So make sure you go to that website. My old one is gone. So now I'm going to talk about what's coming up between the 30th of May and the 5th of June. So this is a super, super powerful week. Like all of our weeks here are getting like, oh my gosh, they're getting very powerful. We have this full moon in Sagittarius. It's going to be a blue moon, and the energy of that is going to be powerful beyond your means. If you've noticed, the last few days of May have been really intense. So a lot of things are coming to the surface when it's like we have to be careful what we said. There's certain truths that are coming up, that we have to resolve head on. You've seen all of these things happening. That's why I tell everybody when there's things that are not resolved, do what it takes to resolve things right now. Because when you do, this moon can work with you. May is the biggest month of the year because there's two full moons and then we have the new moon. And this one is very karmic. So be careful what you say, you guys, you know. So you want to be able to resolve things. So you're going to feel that on the 31st, Sagittarius moon. So you're going to be showing a lot of truth, with whatever it is. Make sure you pay attention because it's not little things, it's big things. And it can be a major life decision that you're going to make because of what's being shown, what's been said. There can very well be sudden endings with things. Like your relationships, especially, are going to come under the spotlight during this time again. There's certain people that hang on to toxic relationships, because of their past traumatic wounds and so on. They're looking to connect past traumas, trauma bonds. So it can get really hard. It can get really emotional. So you're seeing more truth about your person, and your person is seeing more truth about you. So make sure you talk with your person no matter what, if it's an ending, especially. It can be really life changing. So things are going to get shuffled up in the cards even more and more and more. Your soul's been pulling you into the new even more. So it's pushing you forward more into your destiny. It's getting louder and louder and louder to where the point of is I can't do this anymore. I can't stay here. I have to end this. I have to move on. I have to make these big changes. It's going to get really like that to the point of the universe is like, yes, we're making it loud to help you. We want you to be guided towards more of your destiny where you're going. And we want you to let go of these other things here that are holding you back, that are draining you, that are causing you grief and suffering. And oh my gosh. So your eyes can get open with, different people of, wow, that's really who you are. You could get treated like, really bad at your job and you're like, oh my God. And you could be standing up for yourself even more. You know what? This seems like it's very one-sided. I've had enough. Or all of these things. I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of just being brushed aside for promotions. All of that. Move on, you guys. Find something else, of course, before you make that decision, unless you're financially secure to wait for something else that's coming up. So there's people from the past that have been coming back, and it very well could happen under this full moon to resolve situations with people. It's like that Mercury retrograde in a way as well, where past people come, but it's there to resolve things with you too. There can be new doors opening. There can be karmic doors closing. unanticipated encounters opening up again for you, those doors closing as well. It's very transformational, and it's more of like higher consciousness, and you might even want to take space and time for yourself that day. You can be like, I got to turn the world off. I do that on my phone. I'll just turn it on silent. And I'm like, I need space for me right now. Just, you've been through a lot, you've been processing, you're tired, you're exhausted, or I just need to set boundaries. So you could get pulled into travels right now, new adventures. You're going to be like, I'm going to book those travel accommodations. Be very careful where you're traveling. June can be a very chaotic month for travel. A lot of things are happening. Be very careful in June. I'll talk about that later in the next video, and so on and so on. But this is going to be a major completion, a major ending karmically. It could be with anything. Maybe the final contracts are going to be signed. Maybe this is happening. Maybe that is happening. Divine blessings incoming. You're going to be healing through relationships. Maybe you ended a relationship recently and you're still going to be healing through that. You very well could get that promo you're waiting for during that time, because your income could very well increase. Your business could start getting busier. There's going to be more expansion wealth in that department. But just don't make any rushed decisions right now during the full moon. Be careful what you sign as well with contracts. Just make sure that you're what you're signing is perfectly fine. I would stay away from cosmetic procedures. Like if some of you guys are getting Botox or anything cosmetic procedures, be very careful under the full moon. I would reschedule it if you can. You get your hair done, but cosmetically, I'd be very, very careful with that. You're going to see that things are moving forward now. You're going to be reflecting more. Wow, why did I say this? I wished I would have said that different. Because things are changing. You're really evolving even more. So manifesting has been off the charts this week, this whole entire month. Some of you are like, wow, my wish is coming through. I can see what I really wanted. Oh my gosh, it's happening now. And some of you could be like, oh my gosh, I manifested that. I don't know if that's what I want anymore. I do that. I manifest stuff all the time. And then I'm like, I don't know if I want that anymore. So go by the flow of what you guys want. Like there's a lot of truth coming up with the corrupt system. The system's going to crash. Governments are going to be exposed even more. There's going to be massive financial shifts in June. Leaders are going to be questioned in June. Thank God. They'll be bullshitting anyways, but what's new? So there's going to be a lot of tension globally that's going to be coming through in June. And we might even see little bits and pieces of that happening even this week and on the full moon that are going to explode more in June. So there's going to be even other countries that are going to start fighting back. Countries that kept low key, they're going to be like, we've had enough. These so-called bullshit leaders, we're stepping it up now. We've had enough. Yes. This is a spiritual war this year, even more so, and on and on and on. So this is the time this week, especially under this moon, to end toxic relationships. I mean, what's good for you and you don't. Sometimes we're not truly ready to let go of our person or a toxic friendship or relationship because we're emotionally connected and bonded and all of those things. I get that. However, if you are truly ready to do that, now is the time, because the universe could step in and do it for you suddenly. And you're like, oh my gosh. But you will feel a huge major completion under the new moon, or under the full moon, in different areas in your life. It's not a little thing, it's something major. So let me know, like, write notes what you guys are ending, major situations, endings to new beginnings. So as we're entering June. Like, oh my God, June. June's a whole different vibrational frequency altogether. You're going to find, though, on the 1st and the 2nd, you're going to be tidying up loose ends. Things are going to start to flow a little better as long as you have released and let go of certain situations and resolved that. If not, it gets carried forward. So you're going to be prioritizing things that are more important to you that, oh, this is a priority. Like I always, I have a list of things every day, appointments and all kinds of things that I have to do. And I prioritize things first. What's the priority? What do I have to do first? And then work all around it. You're going to be speaking up more. Your communication, you're going to find, is even going to be more important than ever. Don't push things under the rug. You're going to be facing things more. And you could even find that you could even start doing a diary, dear diary, this was my day. You could be writing more. Maybe some of you are working on creative projects where there's writing involved, or you're writing a book, or you're like, I want to start journaling my thoughts down or how my day was. You're going to be facing things, but you're going to have the courage to do so. And you're also still going to be healing more on an emotional level, because the past week, the end of May, it's been pretty intense. It's been pretty tense. So you could finally be emotionally releasing that now. Things came to a head and finally resolved. Take a deep breath in and out. So, whenever there's crazy energetic times, I have a tendency to rebook things on certain other dates, where it's like, what, the full moon will work with me for this. So you might find that, I don't know what I want. Relax. This is a time to reflect. It's not so much about the destination, because you will get to your destination. It's the journey in between to get to your destination of what you're learning. So there's certain zodiac signs that are going to be affected more so this month in June. Cancer, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Gemini, and Capricorn. Those signs are going to be making more life decisions, like major life decisions in June. So it can get a little bit emotional. You could be making life decisions with friendships, relationships, routines, goals, work decisions, anything. Maybe some of you are moving, like anything major. Work with the flow with it, you guys. So you find on the 3rd and the 4th, you're going to have some tension in your body. You're going to want to release that, like build up and build up and build up. Tension can stay stuck in our bodies in different areas, our neck, of course, shoulders, our back, right? Release that tension. Long baths, Epsom salts, working out, go to the spa, go for nature walks, do some gentle stretches, anything like that helps you release any type of decisions that you've been like challenged with, that you have now healed. Because even when something's resolved finally, and it's been something major, it takes time to work through it, to relax your body. Some people will sit back, I'm going to go have a nice cocktail or a nice glass of wine. Oh, whatever it is. It'd be like, oh, thank you, Lord. I always thank the universe. I do swear and cuss to the universe every day, even the simplest things, even the simplest things. I hung up my picture on the wall. I thought it was going to have the hooks already in the back of the picture. No. And these hooks, and I'm like, what? Oh, I was swearing and cussing to the universe. And I'm like, you guys don't like me. You're supposed to have this. And I'm like, how crazy is that? Right. But, we do that. And it just kind of shows you when we go through certain things, our emotions and our situations that were triggering us, it could take something as small as, am I going to do this to set you off? but then it's part of your healing. And then, once the picture's up, you're like, oh, thank you. Right? So I always say thank you to the universe, right? I'm grateful. Thank you. Very grateful. My guides must be like, oh, there she goes again. She's yelling and swearing to us. You all just ignore her, right? You know, has to make you think for a while. So the third and the fourth, as I just mentioned, take it easy. Take it easy. So you can feel a little off as you're healing. You just want to get back into alignment, want to be grounded because you've had enough of the bullshit. You've had enough of this and this and this and that. You're like, oh, you can get some rewards that day too, karmic rewards. Maybe you guys sign certain contracts and all of a sudden something comes in, or maybe you're starting work on the third and the fourth. Maybe all of a sudden that's the day you're getting your bonus check, whatever it is. There's divine blessings coming in as well this week. Divine blessings can be anything, healing. Oh gosh, thank goodness. I was worried about this. I was worried about that. Oh wow, look at that. I finally got my money. Oh my good, my friend paid me back, or I got my promo. Wow, like we got the keys to our new place. Like anything, anything. Just go more with the flow. There's so much happening and coming up right now. Just be careful, right? So as we're kind of ending towards the fifth, you very well could be feeling your purpose even more now. You could have been stuck creatively in a creative way. I've had people, God, Jeni, I've been so stuck creatively. I've been so stressed. I don't even know what color to paint my wall, or I need a new tablecloth. I don't, because you've been overstimulated, you've been overthinking, you've been under a lot of stress and tension. So even the simplest decisions can be very complicated. This is when you need to rest your body, mind, and spirit. Turn the phone off, sit back in a quiet area. So you're going to be feeling more, though, what direction you're going to be going and what you really want. You're going to have that sense of freedom that's coming. Maybe everything has been resolved now, and you're like, wow, I'm finally feeling freedom. But you very well will still be feeling that full moon, because that was a huge, huge moon. I mean, I'm hoping to get a photo of it myself. I do a little photography on the side for, one of my hobbies and such. And I'm hoping to get a really good photo of it. Depends if it's cloudy or not or whatever. So, but you're really going to see even more so as well who's draining your energy, who's dragging you down. Pay attention to people you talk to, let's say, or even your work. Is it draining you? It's time for a change. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't talk to my friend for an hour on the phone anymore. I just can't do it. It's just draining me. Cut it down to maybe 10 minutes, cut it down to 20 minutes. You don't have to walk away from your friend or whoever, but you got to set some boundaries because it'll just continue on and on and on. We want you to do this and this and this and that. No. You could even change your wardrobe on the 5th of June. Get a new hairstyle. Maybe I'm going to get false nails. Maybe I'm going to, change my hair color. Like, anything. I don't like that wardrobe anymore. It's just not me anymore. I don't want to be conservative anymore. I want to be more calm and more of a free spirit, relaxed, wearing whatever. Or maybe I need to step it up and wear some suits. Like you're going to know, like, changing your wardrobe and stuff. You could find your redecorating. Oh yeah, I'm going to be changing this. I'm going to add a couple of new pillows. Your nervous system is going to start to heal a lot more too during this time. So be really gentle on yourself, you guys. Be really gentle. That full moon, boy, it's huge, major in relationships. You're going to be processing a lot. I know my worth more. I don't deserve that. I'm done. So let's pull a couple of cards to see what messages the universe wants you to know. I don't use cards as for those of you who know me, I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium. past life Akashic record, animal communicator, and so on and so on and so on. So make sure you go to my website. There's a lot of information up there. It's all new, updated, finally. So June 30th, or I mean May 30th to June the 5th. What message does the universe have for us collectively? So, wow. I love trees myself. The tree that came down, I love these trees. Oh my God, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Dakota tree. It's all about balance. Look at that. Look how beautiful those trees are. Like, look at in California. I can't remember the name of those trees, but they're huge. They're tall. They're life-changing. As you know, trees have a heartbeat. They can ground you. I always said, go hug a tree. You know, the bigger the trunk, the more you're going to feel it. When you hug a tree, you're going to feel that energy and vibe, and it's going to help you stay grounded. It's going to help you get grounded. Try it out. Like, not a skinny little tree, like in the background here, I have skinny little trees. If you hug one of those, you're not going to feel it. You know, it's like sometimes, have you ever noticed that, you know, we can get hugs from people, you know, which are nice, wonderful, but sometimes we get a real nice bear hug from someone. You know what I mean? When somebody gives you that bear hug, you can feel it because it goes right through your body, mind, and spirit, two energies and entwined as one. You guys connect energetically wise, and it really helps you ground yourself. That's the kind of hugs I like myself. There's only one of my friends that can do it so far. Give me a bear hug and I can feel it. So your animals are also going to be affected too under this full moon. I'm also an animal communicator, as I mentioned. So really pay attention to them because they're feeling what you're feeling, but even more because they're very sensitive. So they could be more clingy to you. If some of you guys are moving, your animals could be acting a little off, a little weird, be more clingy. Because even when they see boxes being packed or stuff leaving the house, they automatically fear abandonment. You're going to leave them behind. So always do that. Like when I was making a move myself, when I had both of my dogs, McTavish and Nikita, I was moving into another house. So I was moving back and forth and back and forth. And one of the days that I was going over to my house, I filled up my van, but I also left enough space for them and I brought them with me. And I told them we're moving. So I brought them with me and they walked around the new place. They could see their stuff. They could smell your stuff. They're like, oh, is this where, you know, our new home? This, yes. I said, yeah, we're moving back and forth. And I just wanted you to hear. And I purposely brought some of their things so they would know, yes, you're coming with me, you know, as like a reassurance for them. So it really helps. So just so you know, little tip, little bit of advice for you guys. So let's talk to the animal kingdom. What message is from them? The lion. Wow. I call Valentino my little lion. Lion represents courage. Ask for what you want. Yes. Ask and you shall receive. However, God, I made that wish and I've asked for this to happen and it hasn't. What the hell? The universe is against me. No. When certain things don't happen, that very well could be the universe stepping in and saying, no, that's not your path. We're protecting you from being in that relationship or doing this or doing that. They're there to support you, or it's not the right timing. However, you will find the courage this week to make these karmic completions and the courage to stand up and talk to your person or your boss or whoever it is. Wow. Lion courage. I love that. Let's pull another card here. 30th of May till the 5th of June. Find out what's going on here. More truth coming up, unexpected opportunities, like lots of things are coming, you guys. Fated destined encounters again, that like I said, you know, and that can be with business as well. Like you can get a surprising offer. So Awaken your inner shaman. Connect, invoke, heal. Yes. Some of you very well could be taking a class on, demonic healing or learning more about that. Really pay attention to what you get pulled to. I've mentioned that quite a few times. Certain people have been drawn to, I want to take that training course. I'm going to sign up to learn more about that. Maybe some of you are going back to school to study. Pay attention to what you get pulled towards. Like I have different books. Like I've actually donated 95% of my books. So there's certain books I've held on to myself, and sometimes I'll be like, I feel like reading a little bit in this book and I'll read it, and the next night or next 3 days, I feel like drawn to read more about this, certain things like that. So pay attention to what you want to learn about. Sometimes we can start learning about something to a certain degree, and we're like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to take the full course, or I've learned enough with this certain subject or whatever it is. I'm good. I multitask a lot of different things myself. So let me know what's going on in with you guys. What major karmic changes have you been through, completions, ended, and so on, right? How did this moon work out for you guys? And if you do want to book a private reading, by all means, soulworkwithjenij.com. Follow me on Instagram, Jeni Ji Cousins. I'm all over social media. And I have a group on Facebook as well, Soul Work with Jeni Ji. Come on aboard. I put a lot of other information and stuff out there for you. So wishing you all a beautiful new moon in a week. Hang in there. Wear some hematite crystals as well to help keep you grounded and so on. I wear different crystals that I'm pulled towards and gravitated towards. Today, I'm more gravitated towards the rose quartz, keeping your heart open, healing, all of those things. Pay attention. Even my ring today actually is pink quartz as well. And I have my topaz quartz on too. And look at that. This is from the volcano from the Big Island when I was in Hawaii. And I have my other one on here too. So anyways, I'll chat.